performance dimensions that that help us in creating enhanced experiences, complete experiences. Now, does it mean that what happens if there is vitality only, or sense and vitality? Now, you will be foregoing probably fit and access if you concentrate on only of those two. Now, it is important that we achieve a balance with all these five, so the experience becomes seamless and something that's immersive. That's the performance dimensions aim. But what does this have to do with me and you as designers? How do we account for this? There are three powerful ways in which the new designer needs to be aware of. It needs to be first and foremost the evolving practices. There are practices that are coming up which are new that we need to account for. Then these principles going beyond a design strategy or a creative brief. Then lastly, the designer himself has to be, you need to be a new breed of experience designer. You cannot do the same things that you are doing. You will have to do that more. You will have to do that even more smartly. These are the three things we will discuss on this section. Mobile internet users have surpassed desktop internet users in India. The fact is there is so much penetration of internet in the semi-urban areas where there are more mobiles than your desktops and PCs. Mobile penetration, the internet penetration is very soon. So you could design for touch or the mobile first. Luke Wroblewski was a principal designer for Yahoo. He's one of the well-known names in usability space and user-centered space. He has also written books called Web Forms and several other publications. He recommends to always start with designing for the mobile first. That way, you are removing all the irrelevant content, keeping it extremely essential only content, because the mobile has its own limitations. You take that and then design, take it to a PC design or tablet design. That way, what you are going to do is you are going to keep it very essential and simple and straightforward. Now, responsive design means design adapting to various different channels, be it a PC, an iPhone, an iPad, or a Nokia phone, or a whole new smaller tablets, for example. A responsive design is aimed at providing a seamless and extremely uniform kind of an interaction across these multiple channels. HTML5 is a great way to do that. It helps you do that. And there are, of course, other technologies as well that will help you do that. One example that comes to our mind is the Modern Bride wedding registry. As you can see, across all the different channels, be it an iPad, be it an iPhone, you see that the content and the layouts are seamless. The interactions are more or less same across, and you wouldn't really lose much going from a device to device. Another important thing that we need to consider while we are designing for evolving practices is to stop looking at things individually and go for an end-to-end kind of a design, what is called as service design. Because in this new age, the experience becomes a brand. Service design is an interdisciplinary approach that combines different methods and different tools from all the different disciplines and then creates a seamless experience. An example of that is Home Plus from Tesco. How does this work? So Tesco's branded retail stores in Korea is called Home Plus, or the online brand is called Home Plus. Koreans have very little time. They would like to have they would like to save as much time as possible. When this Home Plus was not at all number one in the market when they tried to do this particular system, they were looking to enhance and penetrate the market, and one of the innovative ways they thought about was to create a virtual store in subway stations. As you can see in the picture, the products are displayed as they would be displayed on any store in a physical store. All that a commuter has to do is go and take pictures through and then scan the QR code of that particular product. Once you do that, it adds onto your online shopping cart. So by the time you get to home, your order is ready to be delivered to you. A great way to, and a very innovative way of actually making life, much simpler and nice, and providing a great experience for people along the way. An example of a service design. The second thing that we need to be aware of as designers is to create experience principles. Let me illustrate that with an example, with an HSBC example. HSBC's brand principle was we build experiences that build human relationships, we build experiences that build relationships. Now, when you add an experience component to it, when you put in a model a behavior to it, you will convert that statement to say we build digital experiences that build human relationships. So how does this work? Let us take the brand value of HSBC. Trustworthy yet innovative. That's the brand value. Now when you break this down into brand attributes or even more principles, primary principles as you might want to call it, what you get are progressive, approachable, considered, insightful, open, and so on. So you are breaking the trustworthy yet innovative, which is an extremely large canvas, into more sizable chunks where you can start discussing the design and the experience based on these attributes. We don't stop there. We go to further breaking it down into secondary attributes. In secondary attributes, what you get are even more specific stuff, such as contemporary, human, personable, quality, integrity, enlightening, and so on. All of these add up, bubble up into the primary attributes, and then of course they add up to the main important principle of trustworthy yet innovative. Now if you take an example here of the human as an attribute, how does that convert into an experience principle only for that particular element, human? The human experience principle says that we create interactions that feel like conversations. So what does this say? When you get specific over here, what happens is that you get a copy principle. You tell the copywriter with you that keep the copy conversational in nature. So this is how you came from being a brand principle of trustworthy became an extremely actionable experience principle, which means we create interactions that feel like conversations. Similarly, you can have all the other different experience principles for each of these attributes, and then you derive, design directions from each of these. As we discussed before, now it's also important to understand that we move from being a designer from as in the past to we become a new breed of designer. Now, what does this mean? What does it mean to be a new breed of designer? You are an information architect. You are an interaction designer. You are a visual designer. You are a graphic artist.